right, we're going to call our regular council meeting to order Monday, January 6, 2025, 5:01 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mr. Beloit, Mr. Hedrington.
Here.
Mr. Morse.
Here.
Mr. Prentice.
Here, pledge allegiance, please. Take your hats off. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. John.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, and Lord, as we enter the new year, we would just ask for your blessings on the city, that not only on the city government, but also on the residents of this city, and that your will be done in and through them. And we just seek your wisdom tonight as the council discusses and approves the agenda items tonight. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay, we need approval of agenda. Get a motion, please. All in favor? All right, public comment, like normal, stand, give your name and 3 minutes. You can stand, please.
Do you have a podium?
Podium?
Yeah. I'd like to sit down if you don't mind. My name's Joshua. I'd like to talk about the media that you've made mention of Facebook and its users many times. So much so it drove me to reinstate an account in October and create a page. The TV media isn't doing much better. It was stated this deal with Beloit was 10 years in the making. I assume that is correct. It's also stated that Beloit is the only one to offer help, but it must also be false. Media is in Facebook stranding for doing, and I thought the city employees took the issue up head on. Other than that, I have not seen any corrections to anything you say. I understand you may not have an obligation. It diminishes trust in both the media's and the situation. I can also read between the lines and know when someone is being talked about in a negative connotation, whether it is during your speeches here or on the media. I believe this also diminishes trust with those who speak and those they represent. I know who is organizing these concerned citizens events and do not view them as disgruntled. One of them often chews my ass about the way I say things to this council. Come to find out, though, rumors are circulating that this council speaks negatively of them. It is concern that drives this, not being disgruntled. Although someone could become disgruntled in these situations, it's the fact that we have no answer for 5 years from now. It's the fact that we failed to have certifications and licenses to start, especially if the 10 years in the works is true. Last meeting, it was stated a problem from the last council pushed to this one. That's just more verification the concern is valid. There's a history of pushing problems off until there's only one solution. While you may feel things are better, you may have lost too much trust to convey it, especially one-on-one. That's just the truth. Too many things are not adding up. The media is running stories against the citizens of this town from the stands. Many said you would take before I walked in these doors. It's easy to run propaganda that makes it sound like citizens' concerns are invalid and having these concerns pushed in a group that is being given negative connotation. This is warfare that is all too familiar, as it's happened with all the situations I told you during my first visit. These things have made citizens not trust their representatives. That is also why I said don't worry about the way it's said, worry about the content of what is said. Also, I'm not sure if you expect me to know what the meaning of a whole is in the format, but I don't. I hope it is where multiple questions can be asked but answered one at a time. I also hope that each councilman can attempt to answer each question asked. I want to know the details of your vote, the yes and no votes. I want to know who saw the contract offer from Metro. I want to know what is in the works to improve this situation. Lastly, if you do not have a policy in place that says the councilman and mayor should see all bid offers, you should have one. We need to be exploring all the options, in my opinion. And also, I just want to say, I don't know why this isn't on, but it looks like we got it figured out. The audio was good on the last one. We have people that like to watch the live stream. If they can watch it and then you just post the audio, it's almost perfect.
We got an IT guy here to figure that out, but that's our move. I will say one thing about, we're not a council that do it, we won't do our business, our city business on Facebook. So And if you've probably never seen a post of mine on there because I don't post it there. But I have seen posts on the rest of the people on Facebook, and I screenshotted a bunch of them, and I sent some of it to the chief. And, some are very disturbing of what's said on Facebook. And some were personal, and they said they were very, they're pointing at me like I might have done something illegal or wrong, which, to me, you might have to prove it one of these days, because that's the thing. And I was going to go to your meeting. I had no problem. I went to the last meeting. I was planning on going to this meeting. But after what I've been reading on Facebook and the posts that I've sent that I had screenshot to me, I'm gonna read the letter that we sent off to Jack Radisky, because he's the one who sent us a registered letter, and Mr. Varney. Dear Jack Radisky and Mr. Varney, I've received a copy email from Mr. Varney indicating that your group, Concerned Citizens of South Beloit, has scheduled a meeting to January 5th, 2025 at the South Beloit High School to discuss fire department issues that members of the City of South Beloit Council will present. I have previously advised Mr. Radisky in writing that the South Beloit City Council has scheduled a committee of the whole meeting on January 21st, 2025, 6:30 p.m. At the City of South Beloit Wastewater Treatment Plant on 100th Street, 100 Perry Avenue, South Beloit, Illinois, to discuss the city fire department and intergovernmental agreement with the town of Beloit. This meeting is open to the public, and members of the City Council, along with the fire department leadership staff, will be present to listen to public concerns and share information. I would note that the matter involving this intergovernmental agreement with the town of Beloit for fire and paramedic staffing was previously discussed at multiple public city council meetings over the many months prior to the agreement being voted on by the city council. The purpose of the January 21st meeting is to provide factual information to questions posed regarding the current agreement and department operations. City has agreed to host a meeting in an effort to correct multiple incidents of misinformation currently circulating on social media, including but not limited to the Concerned Citizens of South Beloit group page. Please be advised the City Council and member staff will not be attending at the meeting and intended to be on January 25th. I also note, in addition to the committee meeting scheduled for January 21st, every South Beloit City meeting is open to the public. These meetings occur first and third Mondays, 5 p.m. City Hall. If should have any questions, give me a call. Thomas Fitzgerald, Mayor. And we've discussed this over and over in our council meetings, and I don't know who's tonight. Deputy Chief will give his report, and that's it. Anybody else want to say anything about stand up 3 minutes? If not, we're moving on. Okay, approval of the minutes. Get a motion, please.
Second.
This is for November 11th, November 25th, the public hearing on the 16th of December, and the regular council meeting on the 16th. We got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. 3-0. Okay, report of the officers' finance. Ryan is not here, so approval of claims paid December 14th, 2024, January 3rd, 2025, for $597,494.78. Is that right, Don?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion.
Okay, Tracy, please.
Commissioner Edelman, Commissioner Heatherington? Yes. Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice? Mayor Fitzgerald?
Okay, Turner report.
No report this
No report. Moving on. Unfinished business. I'm going to request we lay this over because, what? Oh, yeah, you want to do that? Go ahead. Sorry.
I just have a couple quick things, and then I'll hand it over to Deputy Chief Mayor and Site Mayor. The first thing is I just want to let everyone know we did get our RFP for cleaning services buttoned up last week Friday, so that should get onto our webpage this week. We're just waiting for Teresa to get that posted, but that will be due about the middle of January. I think it was the 22nd. So we'll have a new cleaning arrangement for our cleaning services of 3 municipal facilities. Also, wanted to let the board know that we're working on an IPASS meeting with State Rep. Cabello. It looks like he's going to try to come in either February or March. So more details to come there, but he's been trying to do these local meetings around the area to make it easier for residents and more accessible for residents to get their iPass transponders updated. So stay tuned for that. Just wanted to remind everyone of the committee of the whole meeting that is scheduled for Tuesday, January 21st, immediately following our city council meeting at 5 o'clock. That will be at the wastewater treatment plant, and it does allow for the definition of a committee of the whole meeting. It just allows for public to engage without necessarily anything being decided on. So it allows for free conversation back and forth without any particular vote in mind.
I'll add to that
okay.
it will be no 3-minute limit, but there will be common sense in that. We're not going to let somebody stand up and talk for 20 minutes. So it will be, it will be just a regular, it won't be a council meeting, in other words. Go ahead, sorry.
Sure, no problem here. And then the last thing I wanted to provide an update on is the Garden Hotel. If you haven't driven by, every single wall is officially knocked down. They are still pulling some of the rebar and metal away from different chunks of the concrete, but they are grinding concrete on site. All of that fill gets to stay. It's clean fill that they'll put back on the site. There is still some removal of the scrap and the metal that will continue to happen as well. But they will continue to work hard on that site so long as the weather allows. And then just a reminder that they will have to come back in the spring to do any leveling and filling in of clean fill. But they're going to keep working. Those machines are going to keep working away out there. So it's looking like the cleanest, nicest pile of sexy debris I've ever seen in my life. And then that's all that I have for you, Mayor. So tonight is our fire quarterly report. So Deputy Chief Snyder is prepared to present that.
Please.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, all. Thank you for having me. We'll start off with calls for the last quarter. I started calls from the last quarter on October 11th when we started our numbers. And as you can see here on the breakdown on the last page in the packet, totals up until the first of this year, 215 calls, broken down by general types, 6 in the fire, 161 in medical calls, 2 hazardous conditions, no fire, 27 service calls, good intent 10, looks like false alarms 8, special incidents 1 for the total of 215, and then below gives us our automatic aid and our mutual aid responses throughout those months, broken down by month as into totals as well. Any questions on the call volume or call, please?
The December numbers, are they through all of December, Chief?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are. That should be the total for the entire month of December through the 31st. All right. Special events that the fire department has attended since October 11th. Homecoming parade and the football game that was in conjunction with that. We did the tree lighting at the Nature on the Confluence and served approximately a whopping 12 gallons of hot chocolate. That was a lot of chocolate. Shop with a Hero in conjunction with the police department at Walmart. Thank you for the help there and inviting us along to the police department. Gumbo dinner at the Faith Lutheran Church for an ambassadors program. We also did assisted the Nature on the Confluence with moving outdoor picnics at their request. Anything else you can think of that I might have missed there, Sonia?
I don't think so.
Okay. Now the list of some of the most recent updates. There's a lot going on. I try to pick out the main points. Station cleaning and organizing is continuing to go on. It's a large project and coming along well. The department is now, the big one, the department is now approved for RSI, which is rapid sequence intubation. This is the ability to intubate with paralytics. A huge step forward for the community. We no longer need mutual aid ambulances to facilitate RSI on critical patients, saving time and resources. This is a first for South Beloit Fire Department and a great asset to the EMS and patient care. We've updated and replaced our EMS bags to reduce redundancies as well as match the town and city of Beloit's bags for interoperability, better efficiency, and standardized care. We've placed a Massimo Rad 57 on the town of Beloit's, or from the town of Beloit on the South Beloit ambulance. This is used to for suspected carbon monoxide poisonings. It gives us another tool to determine if someone is exposed to CO. This is non-invasive. It has a sensor clip that affixes to a person's finger like an SpO2 monitor, and it gives us a value of CO2 in the bloodstream. This, in conjunction with a 4-gas monitor, is crucial for rendering CO calls safe and getting appropriate care when needed for all that are involved. This device is also utilized for fire calls to verify that firefighters and personnel involved in the scene haven't been exposed to CO, as it is a byproduct of combustion. Oxygen supplies and bottles for EMS have been upgraded. All small H cylinders that are carried on bags into houses are now hydro tested per NFPA and the manufacturer specs and are safe for use. And the non-compliant dangerous oxygen fill system that was in place has been removed. All oxygen filling now takes place through welder supply, and the contract with Airgas canceled, saving time and money. This greatly improves our safety as well as a money saving. Ambulance Charles 30 has been in the shop for repairs due to emissions issues and has been repaired. Our new ambulance, we hope, arrives in 6 to 8 months. Exciting stuff there. The boat at the fire station is now stored at the town of Beloit Station 1 just to facilitate room in the department so that we can get all the vehicles stored within the building, especially during the winter months. So they're all now inside to include the boat just up at the town. This is definitely important during winter due to sensitive equipment that we keep in there. Future storage and location of the boat is to be evaluated as we get into some nicer weather. New fire hose has been ordered and is on order to replace aging and faulty hose on the inventory, as well as provide backup hose on hand that will also provide us a better ISO rating. Upgrades to the quickie saw and chainsaw on the fire engine with better blades to cover a wider range of materials that can be cut have been put in place. We are continuing to work with Winnebago County to take over our dispatching as well as the CAD computers in the vehicles to communicate with dispatch as well as with the radios. We hope to make this a reality no later than March 1st. Obviously working with outside agencies, so that's a goal. And I think we should be able to meet that at this point. South Beloit's 4-gas monitor is out of service for repairs. We believe has a bad battery and charging port. That we have, the town of Beloit have provided one of our 4-gas monitors to put in South Beloit until the repair can be made. Emergency Knoxbox key, an emergency key box has been installed at the north door of the fire station as a backup when the electronic doors do not work. They've been known to not work at times. This gives us another option to get into the fire station so no one's locked out. The Spectrum Station phone directory has been upgraded to reflect changes within the department, and the system now emails me when I get a voicemail, so that's really nice. So that way if we're not there, we can at least get an email and it's sent right to us with a recording. Non-transport apparatus self-inspection performed for the state and is compliant with all state EMS requirements. So basically anything we keep EMS equipment on had to be gone through based on a form that the state sends. New kitchen pantries are being installed in the department, providing space for the staff for their shelf-stable food items. New washer and dryer has been installed. Building exterior maintenance, gutters cleaned. They were not working and were plugged up due to no maintenance. Now they are working properly, which brings us to the last thing. Part of the reason they were so bad is the large oak tree out in front of the fire station between the building and the apron. On the south side of the building there, facing the street, that large oak tree needs to be removed, and it looks like it's going to be on Thursday morning, bright and early, 8 o'clock it's going to start. They're bringing in a crane to hoist that bad boy out. We brought him over to look at it. I felt concerns for the building, so it really is the condition of it, the size of it, and the potential for facility damage is the reason we're having that removed. So there's some of the highlights for the fire department in the last few months. Can you think of anything else I could add to that? Okay, fantastic.
Good report, sir.
What's that?
Good report.
Thank you.
Very
Any
good.
questions?
No.
Yeah, I got one.
Sure.
How, in the last, since you guys have been taking over,
Mhm.
how often have you had a driver in the station?
Without looking at numbers, I don't have that, I can't have that answer right now. I don't have that answer
Can we get that?
readily available. I sure can.
You know, because I like to see at least a driver all the time, because, you know, fires happen,
Absolutely.
and then, how long is it gonna take for somebody to get there if we don't have a driver?
Roger that, I'll let you know.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else got something to say? If not, we're moving on. Unfinished business, we're gonna lay this over, if everybody wants to, because we got two other people aren't here, and I think this should be voted on by more than three of us. But to give you a thumbnail sketch of what's going on here is, Winnebago County have their police and fire. We're going to have our police and fire dispatched through the same place. So instead of having fire dispatched through Rockford Memorial Hospital and police through that, so that everybody knows where everybody's at, what everything's going on. This, I had Sonia just bring me a, kind of a thing on how much it might cost us. Well, I can go back to right when we had our police and fire dispatched here, and then the police went to Rockford, and the fires, we dispatched our own fire department. During that time, and people might not realize that, which I was elected with Ted Rail in 2015. At that time, we were really in money problems. We had a lot of money problems. And so what we had to do was try to figure out how we could get money. And what happened was we ended up I ended up going through how much it cost us for our dispatching it. Our dispatching it at that time was $220,000 a year. That's what we were paying. That's what we were paying an average, going up, incrementally going up. But it was at, it probably should have been done before, but it was done then. We done it, and we went with Rockford Memorial Hospital. Rockford Memorial Hospital, they were charging us, they were charging Rockton. That's how I ended up with it. We're down Rockton, they were charging Rockton $9,000 a year for their dispatching total, and they would charge us $13,500 for our dispatching, and then so much a call after that, which would bring it right around 20,000 or whatever it was. Well, this here, since then it's been going up naturally, but right now we're going to go with Winnebago County Sheriff's that operates PSAP, which is Public Safety Answering Point, and that will be for both, and that will cost us right around $50,000 a year. Not quite that much, but around there. But anyway, that's what this resolution 6576 is. But what I would rather have is had everybody here to make that decision along with us. So you want to give me a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, all in favor? All right, we'll lay this over. And next meeting, we'll vote on it. We'll hope we get everybody here, but, we'll move on to, new business. Discuss approve ordinance 2832 authorizing the sale of certain personal property owned by the city of South Beloit. Get a motion, please. All in favor? Oh, wait a minute, we better have somebody explain this. All right, go ahead.
I can let Steve talk about this a little bit, but this is the first trucks that we should be able to replace now with the 2 trucks that we just purchased. But one thing I do want to call out is there has been some question about, how much did we really need a building just to have a roof over our trucks? And I want to point out that the 2 trucks that we are getting rid of that are the absolute worst in our fleet, the 2 that you can probably put your arm through, the different rust holes, have 27,000 and 29,000 on them. And it just makes you think, like, how long could we have maybe kept these trucks had we had the ability to properly store them. So I know it doesn't look like many miles, but the truth is these two trucks are in absolute terrible condition, and I think Steve would be happy if he got $500 between the two of them and just had them removed from our property. But
Yeah, with all the salt in there, they just rust away, and being outside, they were just terrible. And I'd had opportunity to go down and look at our new facilities, and it's kind of nice when you look at everything under one roof, you know, I mean, where they can work on it and safe, but whatever. Well, you got a motion in a second, so Tracy, please.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Prentice? Commissioner Haberman? Mayor?
Yes. Okay, resolution 6585, approving a marketing agreement with Utility Service Partners Private Label, Inc., DBA Service Line Warranties of America. Get a motion? All right. Who wants to explain this one?
I can, if you'd like me to.
I would like you to.
Along with maybe Jeff or Sonia, if they'd like to chime in as well. But this is a program that would be offered to our residents. It is completely voluntary. It is essentially insurance for the residents to purchase in the event that there is ever a repair that is needed on their service lateral between the wall of their house to the main. So as we all know, for your service lateral that's from the wall of your house to the city's sewer main, that is a private property owner's responsibility. This company provides insurance for property owners to purchase that would cover costs of repair in the event repair is necessary.
I read this whole agreement. My questions on it is, and in there it said more than once, many varying factors. Well, I would think our public people that would want this would want to know what the varying factors are. I would like to hear from other communities that have this and find out, you know.
The city of Rockford has it. We did talk to the city of Rockford Legal Department. They said that so far they've not had, any constituents that have called with any concerns about the program. I know, being a resident, I received the paperwork to be able to sign up. Ultimately, I think we just forgot to do so, but I know the same company is providing the same service in other municipalities in northern Illinois.
Well, even like for my place, I'd like to know approximately what the cost would be, because if it's...
Jeff could probably speak to
Yeah,
that, to
I
replace
believe
a service lateral.
It's a monthly fee. I think you can pay it annually, but I know it's a monthly fee of like $11.
$11 and $16 for the inside.
There you go. So
Yeah.
it will cover everything from the house to the street. They start out with, if you need it rotted, you got to back up. It's in the lateral. They'll come out, they'll rot it, they'll televise it. Obviously, they don't want to put a new service in automatically unless there's a justification for it. So they're going to make a determination there. But if you're having it rotted 3 times a year, that starts to get quite expensive too. A lot of the rotting services are between $250 and if it's a holiday weekend, $450. You never know when that might happen, especially if you have an older line. The newer PVC lines are less of a problem, but the older ones, we have a lot of old houses in town here. It's a very good justification. I think for most of our residents that is something that they should consider. It's not necessary, but it's protection against like car insurance or homeowners insurance or all those other insurances you have. It guarantees that you're not going to have a $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 sewer lateral replacement bill that might, take you years and years to pay for and not have the finances to do it when it comes time to do it. I've looked at them for a little over 4 years now. I believe Rockton has them there too, and Rockton has their water and sewer available on that. I know there's other places and they focus mostly in the Midwest. I know if we have questions, if you not sure about whether you want to. I'm sure they're willing to come and do a full presentation at one of our council meetings if that's what you wish to do.
I would rather see that because, you know, it's something that it's new. So we would like to see how things have progressed and other things. I mean, for 130 some bucks, you know, I mean, a year, that's not, you know, that's nothing, but people are concerned and they would like to know how much.
And do remember that it is voluntary. Anybody can
Yeah,
choose
right.
to be part of it or not part of it. You can't start having a problem and then say, oh, well, I want to be a part of it and have to have your lateral replaced the next month. And like life insurance, if you take out your life insurance policy and die a month later, they don't necessarily pay out because you already knew there was a problem. So
Was like these people along Northwestern, remember when we did all the laterals along
Yep.
Northwestern, would they have been covered then?
As far as replacing what we did, yes.
If they have the insurance.
Yep.
That's what I'm wondering, I mean, that's
So
probably,
Mayor, I can add that, you know, this was an item that we were about ready to put on the agenda in December, and we just decided, look, this is not pressing, let's just take let's give a chance for the referrals from other communities and all that, so we pushed it into January, but I'm sure that, so this agreement, the way I understand it, is the city saying, we won't let another company come into our turf. We want the agreement with you. If residents choose to have this package, that's between the resident and you. But there's no urgency here. We can absolutely.
well, I know, I'm
get
just
solar
saying, well, that's
come in.
fine, I mean, I agree with it.
They were one of the first ones to start doing this type of thought process in the Midwest.
Seeing it's optional, it's not like anybody,
it's-
costs anybody anything, it's just,
They can choose to be part of it or not be part of it. I think, especially if you have an older home, older line, it's definitely well worth the expense. You know, that sometimes even the newer lines get blocked up, and a lot of times that's for many reasons. I'll use an example of a fairly new line. Older lady lives there alone, and that call came in a week ago, and she was having trouble with her lateral. We got called out. It was New Year's Day evening, and we went out and checked our main, as we always do when we get those calls. We want to make sure our lines are running. It was a brand new PVC line we put in 13 years ago on Miller, and we checked and did our due diligence, but it ended up being her lateral, and there's nothing wrong with her lateral other than because of these new toilets, the low flow toilets. All these older lines are designed to gravity feed out with a certain amount of gallons of water, and when you take that water away, those solids stop and they start piling up in your lateral. All she had to do is have somebody come out and rod it. But that was the example I had of the $450. Now, if she had the insurance at $130, maybe she only ends up using it the one time. But you know that's almost 3 years of paying the insurance versus having the problem she had. And,
anybody
a lot of our other residents are going to have those type of problems too. So they're going to have the use of that just making that phone call, not having to find somebody to come out. They'll have already somebody lined up for this area to come out, regardless of when it is.
well, anybody that lives around trees knows weeping willows and stuff like that there, they go right into the sewer line. 'Cause that happened on a couple houses that I had
There's a
along
lot-
here.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, I just want to make sure everybody understood it.
I'm sure Mike, forget his last name, would,
Yeah, he would love
he'll
to.
come, he'd love to come and do a presentation for you. If that's what you
So
like.
whatever anybody wants to do, you want to vote on this or lay it over? It's up to,
Let's lay this one over to the first February. meeting, if
Okay.
That's okay, Mayor. Next
Sure.
meeting, we might have a time.
okay, get a motion to lay it over? All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we're gonna lay over, B. Okay, item C, discuss approve resolution 6586 approving an impound proposal with the Greater Rockford auction to provide motor vehicle towing and impound services. Motion.
So moved. Second.
Want to explain?
Yep. Okay, let me start by talking about what prompted this conversation. A few weeks ago, we had an abandoned RV on the side of the road, about halfway in the road, that we needed removed. We have 3 towing agencies currently on our list. One of them was on the scene. It was not Tony's, who's here today in the audience. It was not Tony's, but there's another towing agency on our list that they were there and they refused to take it. I understand their concern. It's old, it's abandoned, takes up room, it's probably gonna cost money, right? But then, so our protocol is if one refuses to go down the line, the next one, and the next one. We found ourselves in a very bad situation where none of our agencies could tow it for whatever reason. Maybe they weren't available, maybe they didn't have the storage space, whatever. So this particular abandoned RV got towed to the Greater Rockford Auto Auction by a third-party towing agency that's not on our list. And then so the auto auction said, well, we might have a solution for you where this would never happen again. So I'm like, yeah, all right, we sat down and talked. And there are obviously pros and cons to everything, and there's pros and cons to this. Obviously, you know, I always want to do business with our local companies if possible, and this proposal, this option seems to be a happy medium where we can still do some business with our local companies. But as you'll notice, this is called an impound proposal. So all of the police impounded vehicles would go to the Greater Rockford Auto Auction, and they contract with Haas Towing. Now, other things like accident scenes or other abandoned vehicles, we still could have what's called an A-list or an alternate list. It's very popular, like our Winnebago County does it, Rockford PD does it, Butts Park. A lot of agencies do that. We have a contracted towing agency for impounds, and then an A-list for all others. So this is, to me, a good happy medium where we can still do business with our local companies if they choose to. But the other pros to this, and it's more of a, at this point it's more of a business decision, in that, number one, they'll never refuse a tow, regardless of what it looks like, how big it is. They can handle any type of truck, semi, whatever. They have unlimited storage. They will do all the paperwork for us for unclaimed tows. Our administrative records clerk currently does that, so they would take that off of our plate. Once those unclaimed vehicles go to auction, right there at the auto auction, they share part of the revenue with the city of South Beloit. So there's, some of the money comes back to the city, and they collect all fees. So right now, people go to the police department, or they'll go to the city hall, and they'll collect the $500 administrative fee. The auto auction takes care of all of that as well, and sends one check to the city each month. So those are the pros. The biggest con that I'm aware of, that I guess it's an unknown, is that we don't, since they're not right in South Beloit, the wait time could be a little bit longer. I've kind of asked about that. I don't know, I don't know how long it's going to take. Haas is a big company, so they have a lot of trucks out there. I've been told that it's never been an issue with any other municipality, but it's something I guess we'll have to wait and see if we were to go forward with this proposal.
How would it hurt our companies around here?
Well, right now we have 3 of them on our list, and they wouldn't get all of them like they do now. They could still be on the rotation of the alternative towing list, which many of them are on the county's list, or I'm sure others as well. I'm not sure which agencies use it.
I mean, I'm not, how many calls do we get, and how many would they get? You know what I'm saying? If it's at 70%, what would be the change? Okay, Tony's, what's the change with them? What would it be with them? If we vote this in right now, how would they be affected?
Drastically.
Pardon me?
Pretty well, a lot. When we tow for the county, for Winnebago County Sheriff's
I
Department,
know. But I mean, this is something this is new, I'd like to know all this.
It's new.
6 for Winnebago County Sheriff's Department.
All year.
Mayor, you can't take comments from
Well, it's a type thing that I'm not so sure of right now. What do you think, Brian?
Can we use them just on, like, your impounds and stuff?
This is for impounds only. Impounds only.
So,
all others, like I said, like the accident scenes where people they're from out of town, they don't know who to call. We'll have a list, on a rotating list as we do now, and we just call the next one off the A list.
but if there's an accident down here and they call for wrecker, whom do they call then? Do they call
One of our 3.
one of our 3 first?
Well, they could call anybody they want to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but if they don't know, we don't say, well, you got call
Yeah,
Thomas or
right.
call whoever. So we're unbiased, we just call the next record on our list,
Yeah.
and the other companies could be on our list.
But what I'm saying is if you call for somebody, if they get getting impounded, does it automatically go down to
The
Rockford?
impounds do, yes.
And if whatever's in an accident, if a car gets in an accident, that's automatically impounded, isn't it? You're not driving it away.
Well, I'm talking about like police ordered impounds. If somebody's fleeing from us and they crash or we get them, or seizures, these are for the police impounds. They would all go to the Rockford Auto Auction and go through this process.
Well, I mean, I'd hate to hurt one of our, people in here the only reason I say this is because the record costs a lot of money, and you people, I mean, they usually judge their business by their records or by their business that they have. And I'm not comfortable with that right now. I mean, I understand if the impound, if we gotta call them down there to come pick up a bus or whatever, if they don't wanna do it, we'll get Mad Joe to do it, whatever. That's what I'm saying. I don't like losing business because they'll take it.
Don't get me wrong, we've always had a great relationship together.
Yeah.
My intent is not to take away, it will somewhat obviously take away some business, but to be able to still work with them was what really pushed me over to explore this.
I'd like to see you happy, that's for sure.
At the same time, we can't go down that road that we just went down, and nobody's willing to pick it up. It does happen, and frequently where they'll say, what kind of vehicle is it or whatever, and if they don't want to take it because it's a garbage vehicle, they'll just pass on it. We just can't have that. We can't have our towing companies continually passing on our tows, because we're on scene, we're waiting for them to come pick them up, and it just put us in a really bad spot. Nobody's willing to pick them up.
Mayor, it's also a public safety issue. We have an obligation to get these vehicles out of municipal roadways sooner rather than later. And, under our current tow agreement, technically companies are not permitted to refuse. Otherwise, it can be a violation of the agreement. Now, we haven't gone down that path of telling companies, well, you can no longer tow for us because you've been refusing. So this is, this contract is supposed to be kind of a happy medium where we have a service that we know will be guaranteed to remove anything that we need them to remove at any time, and still have an opportunity to provide referrals where we can for our local businesses. But we can't have a situation where we have, whether it's an RV or a bus or anything, in a municipal roadway that sits there for days.
Remove the tow company.
Can I say something here? So,
Wait, Mayor, we
the
can't.
RV was too big. You have to have a certain size.
Sir, you're permitted to speak during public
No,
comment,
that's all right.
or if you're authorized to speak by a member of the city council. So you can
listening.
give them the floor,
I'm
Mayor,
listening.
but.
You have to have a certain size record to tow it. There's
Yeah, I
one
understand that.
company on the list, I'll say it, Dewey's.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're the ones that refused it.
Yeah,
Adcock, he doesn't have a big record. We don't have a big record to tow it either. So why don't you go after the one company that is not doing their job per contract and go after them? I mean, we like the city. We go and tow police cars. We don't even charge this.
well, that's what I know. I know you guys have been,
Mayor, sir, we're gonna have to have both of your names for the minutes.
yeah,
I don't care. I'm Vinnie Rollo.
Anthony Rollo.
Thank you.
yeah, and we understand that, it's just,
Vincent. Put down Vincent.
Vincent, what's your last name?
Rollo.
problem.
It's just a legal requirement for the minutes.
But I like to lay this one over too, so that we got 5 people up here talking about it. And what I like to do is, in the meantime, could you get a little better idea on what we're talking about? I mean, how many times has this happened in the last year of towing? If you guys want to bring in how many tows you had, or had to refuse or something, so that we, when we're making a decision like this, I want to make sure we make the right one. And
I can get how many tows there were. I don't know if I'll have refusals, because the county dispatchers handle that, and they just automatically go to the next one.
right. But we can, you know, I mean, well, the 2 weeks won't make any difference, will it? Much?
No, and again, this was a proposal.
Yeah.
We still had the, you know, we still have to get the, if this were to go through the alternate list process set up, so.
Okay, let's, yeah.
Can I
No-
say one more thing?
Well, we're not voting on it today
I know, I
anyway.
just wanna say one thing. So
All right.
even like for Winnebago County Dispatch, a couple weeks ago, we had a tractor trailer, semi-tractor trailer, on South Bluff, got hit, rear-ended and pushed into the ditch. They disconnected the tractor, they got that out of the ditch. They called us to come and get the trailer out of the ditch. So Winnebago County, I wasn't refusing the call, we just don't have the equipment.
Right, yeah, well, we understand that.
They don't
Yeah,
have
it's
the direct
more or less,
information down at the dispatch.
we're not questioning that. We're questioning right now is how much this will affect our people up here. That's the only reason I question. I'm not questioning what they're doing or anything like that. I'm just saying that I'd like to have everybody here so that they can give their viewpoint before we vote on it. It's tough when you got 3 people because one person votes no, then it's a no. You know, I mean, so you have to have, I like to have at least 5, so if one votes no or one votes or 2 or whatever, you know, that work that way. So, let's, I'd like to get a motion to lay this over.
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, we're gonna lay that over until next one. I hate doing this, laying over these things, but I do like to have, make sure we get it right. Okay? All right, get a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Thank you for coming, everybody. And,
Let's stop.
oh,